him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-macabre, it's time for the only news that matters! And Marty Friedman singled out Brian May's work on The Game as an album with his favorite overall presentation of the electric guitar, suggesting that more attention should be given to Queen's 1980s LP. The legendary Queen guitarist is also an astrophysics and night bachelor, hasn't been devoid of praise in his professional life, but it seems that his guitar playing legacy is yet to be fully digested by the fans, as people still seem to discover interesting nuances and parallels in his work, such as Nuno Betancourt calling him arguably the most important than Black Sabbath Tony Iommi for the emergence of the Seattle grunge scene. Really? Queen grunge scene? I don't hear it. Anyway, in that regard, the American-born, Japan-based virtuoso said during a recent interview with Goldmine that not enough attention has been paid to Brian May's effort on The Game, the Queen's A Studio album, which spawned the timeless classics Another One Bites the Dust and Kirk Hammett's favorite, Dragon Attack. Yeah, that would be my favorite off that album. Not nearly enough praise goes to this album, he says. This shows a less orchestrated and harmonized side of Brian May's guitar work, and I just love it. The solo on Someone to Love from Day at the Races is my all-time favorite of his, but the sheer variety of perfectly chosen guitar motifs on this entire album is staggering. People do Brian a disservice by dismissing this album. Side 1 alone has 2 big hits and 3 monster hits on it, all with eloquent guitar work. Not a single note too many. Rare in the case of Guitar Gods. And the sonic construction, guitar placement in the mix is breathtaking. When the Queen movie Bohemian Rhapsody came out a few years ago, I did a listening party for this album at a high-end stereo shop in Tokyo. And hearing The Game on the studio class system was a religious experience. I can honestly say this album is my favorite overall presentation of guitar within the big picture of a band's context. Every note that guitar plays is welcome and keeps the focus on these great songs and out-of-this-world arrangements. Metallica's Kirk Hammett too praised the sound of Brian May's guitar on The Game, singling out Dragon Attack as one of his favorite Queen songs. Dragon Attack, oh, I love that song. Brian May's guitar sounds so overly saturated on that song, more so than other songs. It's like he walked over to his fucking tone booth and just turned it up to 11. Brian May has such a wide reach. He's like David Gilmour. Both of those guys have such a wide reach. They can play extremely, just like beautiful, oh man, they can just fucking make you cry with their guitar solos. And the sense of melody that both David Gilmour and Brian May have is incredible, man. So there you go. Marty Friedman praising Brian May. Brian May should be praised. The guy is amazing on the guitar. What he does, the sound. He's one of those guitar players that when you hear him, you know it's Brian May. That's the sign of an amazing guitar player. When they play, you recognize the person. Not a lot of people have that. That is odd that he picks The Game out of all the Queen albums, but he's a guitar player. He knows more than I do when it comes to that, but, you know, I think this album is not perfect. The Game, I think it's great, but there's a few songs I'm not too crazy about on the album. So what do you say I rank the album, The Game by Queen, that came out in 1980? Here I am going to rank it all the way at the bottom at number 10. I really dislike this song. Don't Try Suicide. I don't like this song at all. I have a feeling this song may have spurred a rash of suicides. I mean, it's not giving you the right message when you say don't do suicide to a horrible song. This song is so bad, it's like, I don't want to live no more. I don't want to hear this, and bang, right to the head. All right, number 9, another one I don't like off the album, Rocket. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I mean, it's almost tied with Don't Try Suicide. I think they're both pretty bad. All right, number 8, not crazy about this one, but it's a little better than the last two. Coming Soon. Whatever. All right, the rest of the album I like. So now I'm going to name songs I like. All right, at number 7, the opening track, Play the Game. I do like it, man. I just like 6 more than that one, but I dig it. At number 6, another one, Bites the Dust, the big hit. I dig this song. You know, this song, Michael Jackson was the one that told them, you need to release that as a single. And they were like, I don't know, but they did, and it ended up being number 1. I believe, I could be wrong, leave the comment section below. I believe this was their only number 1 hit. I could be wrong, but I think so, man. And you know, disco was the craze. It was kind of a disco-ish song, but I dig it. I think it's pretty cool. All right, number 5, the other hit on the album, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. I dig it, man. It's kind of like their ode to Elvis Presley. It's got that 50s sound. I dig it a lot. All right, number 4, oh, beautiful song, Sail Away, Sweet Sister. I love that tune, man. It's beautiful. Beautiful song. And number 3, I know he's not listening, but my buddy, Carlos Guti, man, I love him. He's a big Queen fan. And when I told him I like Never Need Your Lovin', he laughed at me. You like that song? I'm like, God, I love that song. It made it all the way to number 3. That's how much I love it. All right, at number 2, beautiful ballad, Save Me. Amazing song. Love it. Freddie was just so awesome, man. That's Brian May, as you can hear on this album, his guitar playing, according to Marty Friedman. And at number 1, I already told you guys earlier, Dragon Attack. It's my favorite song off the album, and I would put it in my top 10. Possibly top 5 Queen songs of all time. Brian May is indeed a genius, and I believe he plays with a coin instead of a guitar pick. He plays with a coin, and I got to see Brian May one time because I had to see him. I paid to see him, you know, and Roger Taylor too, because I've never seen Queen live, and I saw him, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, with Adam Lambert. Adam Lambert, amazing singer. Very disturbing to watch, though. I did not like his stage presence. I thought it was terrible. And odd thing about that night, when I saw Queen, after the show, I ran to this club up in Pompano, and I saw Mac Sabbath, that Black Sabbath tribute that looked like McDonald characters. And the opening band was the Flanders. I think that was the name of them, where they all look like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. Anyway, funny stuff, man. But yeah, going back to Brian May, at least I got to see him once, and he played amazing that night. And hey, I saw Marty Friedman like a couple years ago at Queensryche, and he played amazing that night, where he brought up my friend David up on stage. You know, he just picked a random guitar player, and David's awesome, off a band called Fathom that I highly recommend. I have reviewed them. Oh, actually, I had Fathom band members on my channel, and that was a great interview. But anyway, there you go, Marty Friedman, who's also a great guitar player. Possibly my second, I don't know. I have to think about that because I kind of like Kiko more. But yeah, Chris Poland is always going to be my favorite Megadeth guitar player. So what do you all think? Leave it in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. I really do appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. I really would appreciate that. And a shout out to my friend Wilson in Chicago. I love you, buddy. I hope you're hearing this now. And hey, everybody, like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. And please subscribe to my channel. And stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.